studios promise up and down that they are going to faithfully reimagine or remaster or remake something, you know that they're probably not going to. And unfortunately, with the Gothic remake, this is exactly what they were doing. And now we are seeing that they are censoring and uglifying the females in this title.
Oh, God.
I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, this was actually a remake
it's embarrassing
that I was
they do
looking
this shit,
forward to.
It's crazy.
Like a lot of other people, I love Gothic, and unfortunately, this is also
I'm gonna be honest,
something that has gone.
I played the game. The game played like shit. I'm just gonna be real. Played like shit. Like, you can say that, oh, the old one played like shit. That's fine. I don't want to play the old one either. But it did play like shit.
Through a bit of development hell, so I was definitely cautiously optimistic. But everywhere on the marketing material for this game, on their web page, over on the Steam page, they swear up and down that it's going to be faithful. Return to the Valley of the Mines in this faithful remake of the genre-defining open-world RPG. Explore a handcrafted, organic open world that reacts dynamically to your actions, whether you're a seasoned Gothic vet or if this is your first time being thrown into the colony. You're in for a true RPG experience with unrestricted exploration.
What's sad is that it looked so good. Like, visually, it looked great. I love the way it looks.
No other. So hearing that it's going to be a dynamic living world, that it's going to be faithful, all of these things sounded extremely positive until you actually see what they have done with it. And over the years, we have seen a lot of remakes and reboots, and just a lot of new games in general uglify women, censor content, tone things down, which is so sad because while I don't think every single character in every single game needs to be a 10 out of 10 bombshell, I do think that there are certain series where the characters...
Nobody wants to look like this. This is a guy. This looks like an ugly guy that's dressed up like a woman. That's what it looks like. It's obvious. What the fact is that women want to have choices. They want to choose whether they want to look like a knight in shining armor or they want to look like a slut. They want to have the options. So just give people the options, but they're taking them away.
Should look very pretty. They should be like the peak of humanity, right? You don't expect a 600-pound land whale to be flying around as the next Superman. You don't expect a 450-pound they-them to be the next Tomb Raider and the next Lara Croft replacement.
They're the boulder that she's running away from.
And you don't expect, I don't know, Littlefoot from the Land Before Time to be a female in the Gothic remake. This is so sad to me. I'm so sick and tired of games with very unique, dark aesthetics being censored and being scaled back and them trying to make them more...
The reason why is that there's a bunch of like weird, ugly, fat, middle-aged feminists that work at these companies, and they make the characters unattractive because they hate the fact that they're not young anymore. That's the reason why. They hate attractive women because it makes them feel insecure, and they also hate men because men don't treat them the way that they think they deserve to be treated. That's the reason why. You have an army of swamp hags that are in these video game companies that are ruining your video games to make themselves feel better about being fat.
Marketable. Like, if you're not going to do the original game justice, there is no point to remake it because you're just going to piss off the existing fan base and you're going to lose out on sales. You're just putting money into a game that's not going to make it back. Now, if you don't know, THQ Nordic is the publisher of this game, and THQ Nordic was actually one of Embracer's first largest acquisitions in the video game industry. They acquired THQ Nordic back in 2014, and so, unfortunately, I do think that Embracer Group is one of the reasons why this has happened. Sure, I
don't think that's really necessarily true. I think that the fact is that companies get infected with these people, and then once it starts, it just gets worse over time. It just gets worse and worse and worse over time until people just totally lose their fucking minds. Until they destroy the company and they destroy the games. Like, they're like a cancer. What the fuck is this? It's
certain
like
there are also developers who made this decision and
corporate
following
cancer.
social trends. But I do also think that Embracer is a big reason why this is happening. And it's just so sad because the types of people that they are trying to appeal to are not going to show up and consume this content. I mean,
well, that's because none of the people actually want to be that person. Like, you're not actually appealing to anyone by making characters that look like this. It's a total fake thing that's invented by people that are always performing for an invisible audience. The fact is that nobody wants to look like this. Nobody wants to dress like this. If you tell somebody that she looks like this girl, she's going to block you. So the fact is that nobody wants to be like this person. Nobody wants to have anything to do with this. And so you're basically changing the game in order to make an activist happy on Twitter that has no vested interest in whether your game is successful or not. And this is what happens. Yeah, as a man, I play a girl because they're hot. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, like, this is it. Nobody wants to be ugly. Yeah, exactly.
You can see there were some absolutely sexy women in the original. There were some really like seductive looking outfits. The females showed a lot of skin and they also looked really pretty. Yeah, they were also lower quality, but at the same time, they were supposed to be pretty looking characters. And so you would expect that to carry over into the remake and these outfits, these women.
Well, apparently they're like sex slaves or something like that. So it makes sense that they're going to be attractive and dressed in like scantily clad clothes. I mean, this is the thing is that, and if you have a problem with that, go back to elementary school. Go play Animal Crossing.
Heavily censored, have been uglified, and now there is a monumental amount of backlash surrounding this game because people are upset, people are disappointed, people are angry, and rightfully so. When you go into a remake that they were claiming...
Let's see if it's this bad still. I don't know if I can find it. Where the fuck did it go? And where is it? Gothic 1 remake, Steam. So if you pull this up and you look at the community, right? The community hub, these people are malding out about this. Yeah, there it is again. I don't know what this is. Don't like it, don't buy it. Okay. Pretty simple to do. Why is the developer so selective when listening to feedback? There's another one, constructive feedback. Another one, how's this a thing? Boycott, woke, DEI, uglification of females. Yeah, people are losing their fucking mind. People are very, very mad about this. I think they should be too. It's weird.
Up and down was going to be faithful. You don't expect it to be butchered. Now, I have seen some people post on
and they've killed the game. Like, I don't know if this is really going to kill the game, but this is definitely like very negative marketing. Like, it certainly doesn't hurt. It certainly doesn't help. Like, making characters look like that will absolutely attract more negative attention than positive attention. And again, I enjoy being part of that negative consequence. I do. I hate the people that do this. And, you know, again, if I can add to the amount of negative discourse about it, I will always do it. And so hopefully that's what's going to happen. Swamp maxing, yes, exactly. And they're not going to change it either because they're stuck now where they can't capitulate to people like me. They can't capitulate to the internet. Because if they do that, then it's going to be seen as them, agreeing with like the bad people in video games. So they've effectively poisoned their game with no way of getting out of it.
That they are removing posts from the Steam community discussions tab/forums. I haven't seen any that I've opened yet being removed, but I will be keeping a close eye on it over the next couple of days, and I will update you guys in another video if this is the case. But here are just some of the posts being made.
The bad people
hey devs, why did you censor the female characters? I thought this was supposed to be a faithful remake, so why did you censor the revealing outfits from the female characters that were present in the original? And I'm really curious to see if the story is going to be censored at all as well, because of course it's humans losing a war to orcs, and we know how the modern audience views orcs now, how they constantly attack Tolkien's work and Dungeons and Dragons,
oh,
and how they constantly
not that
want
orcs
these
are
depictions
black
removed
people. Please,
because
no.
they think people view them as being the equivalent of black individuals, even though it's just them that are saying that. So I think that they are the ones who are actually racist. But regardless, we're also talking about a game that I always had some worries about because of the localization. If you don't know, when Gothic originally released, it was kind of slammed
Scottish
for its like inaccurate localization. I was hoping that they were going to do a better job, but at the same time,
so if you go by stereotypes, you know, they think the orcs are black people, the dwarves are Scottish people. The elves are maybe Asians, I don't know, and the goblins are...
It's 2025. I can't really expect developers to put a lot of work and time into the games they're actually working on because they generally don't care. But I still am so sad to see that now we're truly finding out just how bad this is going to be. Took it off my wish list. Female characters look modernized, androgynous, and sterilized. This is a telltale sign the devs don't take the source of the original seriously and have no authenticity. These women are supposed to be dressed like that because they were sex slaves and servants. So yeah,
I think there's a pretty good chance that the sex slave element is going to get removed or censored or in one way or another recalibrated. I think there is a very high probability chance that that will happen. Because the people that do this with stories, they love to do that.
Big skip on another modernized game that will mess up the original game's charm and authenticity. Too much political correctness. I need to say something very clearly about the barren women in the remake. You know, the design misses the part of Gothic's world. In the remake, they look like generic
sanitized
NPCs
garbage
just to satisfy modern sensibility.
How many of these retards, how do these retards keep getting hired? They get hired because of diversity quotas. They get hired into these companies by diversity quotas and other forms of DEI inclusion systems. And then they are now because this person was added into the company because they're a minority or a protected group, now it's hard to get rid of them because of that same reason, because they're a minority or a protected group. And so they're effectively like you've just infected your company with a retard like this that's trying to add in a bunch of bullshit into these games. That's what happens. It's retards hiring other retards. Exactly.
Gothic was not a moral game. It was not safe. It was brutal, misogynistic, immoral, and sexualized. And that's exactly how it was supposed to be. It's always
You're not going to get a new game like that made by a big company that's Western. If you want a game that has any sort of like credibility, you either have to find an indie game or you have to find a game that's made completely outside of the scope of like Western influence. All Western games are poisoned by this dialogue.
Funny that there are individuals online who say, you guys aren't intellectuals and you can't handle mature themes. But when it comes time for mature themes they don't like to be depicted in a game, oh my gosh, then it's time to censor. Gothic 1 remake game got modernized. RIP. Chuds really can't have shit in this world. Took it off my wish list. Big skip. Valaya is trans now.
I'm glad to see so many people putting pressure on them doing this. I think that it should be more. The more people that do this and the more people that are hostile about it, the more other companies in the future will be afraid of doing it, which is the goal.
God, some of these characters, just look
so you gotta
absolutely horrendous, and it sucks. Any game that does this, you can assume to be garbage. While there are exceptions, this is the rule. Fire them all.
Say no,
if they're indeed talented, they'll land on their feet. This shit looks like the quest in The Witcher 3, where Geralt and the boys dress up as sorceresses on a drunken binge. That is so...
Oh, God. That's Eskiel? Yeah, maybe you're right.
Freaking hilarious to me.
I got that option.
I bet the new designs or
yeah.
self-inserts of some kind of feminist who worked on the game wouldn't even shock me. Damn, I was looking forward to the remake. I guess there's no need to remake Gothic 2
It's like they don't know anything.
It's all so tiresome. Even the OG Gothic women look better than the 2025 ones. There's something very wrong.
There is.
And yeah, I just
absolutely there is.
Have a bad feeling that this is only the start of the issues with this title. So I'll be keeping a close eye on it and on the forums to see if they are indeed censoring people. Wouldn't even surprise me. But if you had any hope for this, maybe temper your expectations. But that's all that I really had.
I think, again, if you see this in a video game, the odds are it's going to be garbage. Like, I view this with any time that I see a gender swap or a race swap with a character, my expectations for the story instantly go into the garbage. Like, if there's a remake and they've remade it and they've race swapped characters or changed their appearance or anything like that, you should start from the position that it's going to be bad. That's it. It's pattern recognition.
To discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.
I think that the funniest thing about this is that whenever games come out that do this, they massively underperform and they usually fail. Because also video games, this is another thing I have to, give the video a like. I'm very glad to see this. I'm very, very glad to see this. And I think what needs to happen is more people need to put the pressure on these companies to not do it. And also this is the life cycle of a product like this for me, is that I make videos about it. And then whenever the game comes out, I make videos about it failing. And then obviously that probably causes it to fail more. And then I do that for enough of the games, and then that ends up destroying the studio. And obviously it's not me, but it's just collectively this is what happens. And then I make videos about the studio falling apart. So I'm winning this whole time. Like the whole time, we got the whole thing locked down, right? First impressions are 90% of the selling point for individuals. Yes, exactly. Welcome home. We're gonna send it back to McDonald's, bro. Yep. That's what happens. Free content, absolutely. And then you react to people complaining about you. Infinite content. Oh yeah. People aren't mad about me. They're mad that people listen to me. That's the reason why they're actually mad. It's not about things that I'm saying. It's about the fact that people are listening to what I'm saying. If I was some guy and maybe 50 people were watching my videos, nobody would care or know about it. The reason why they're mad is that it works. That's the reason why they're actually pissed off. It's because it's effective. So yeah, anyway, I'm really glad to see all the people talking about this and being hostile about it. I think this is absolutely what they deserve. And so, yeah, hopefully it continues. I think it will continue. And in the process of this, I think hopefully other video games realize not to do this. And it should scare them out of not doing it. So yeah, and they're like a Hydra, though. They get picked up by other game companies in the industry and two more heads pop up. It's an internal industry rot. It is until it's not. And I think that, again, if you just keep putting the pressure on people like this and you keep criticizing it, and you don't buy the games, and, again, these games massively fail. They don't do well at all. Eventually, the companies will fall apart.